others, I am the Messiah and the founder of the universal church. I return now to repeat everything I once said, placing the seal of divine greatness upon human words. If we give our full attention to what the Messiah is telling us now, we will notice that he uses the word church, because he speaks of the universal church, whereas earlier he referred to the universal religion. Logically, this means that both terms refer to the same concept. The universal church is the same as the universal religion. When we examine our human concepts, the word church usually refers to a physical building made of stone, a place visited on Sundays, used for religious celebrations. This human image does not align with the Messiah's expression universal church, because he is not referring to anything material when he speaks of the universal church, but to something that belongs to the spiritual realm, to creation, to the cosmic sphere where all the spirits of God, like the Messiah, are in unity with our Creator. If the Messiah is now revealing this divine image of the Father by unifying the two terms church and religion used by mankind, it is because he says, I return now to repeat everything I once said. He is telling us that he used those very words before, as Jesus the man, to speak of God's church, of God's religion, to bring the human concept of that term into alignment with the divine commandment to love God above all things. But he already told us in the video Universal Religion 02, the Messiah, I must repeat to you once again, that the spirit of my teachings was never understood. He now tells us why he has returned, to place the seal of divine greatness upon human words. He reminds us again that he already said the same regarding the universal church and universal religion when he came as Jesus, and that now, since we have reached a higher state of spiritual consciousness than in past ages, he can explain it to us more clearly, in accordance with our spiritual evolution, using the divine clouds he brings from the Father to deliver these same words now with the seal of divine greatness. If we are attentive, we can see that he has been illuminating the human words stored in our minds, church and religion, which come from many past lives we have experienced as part of churches and religions. Only now can our understanding of the divine greatness behind these human words begin to cleanse the darkness in which they have been wrapped for so long. This darkness made us reject, without knowing why, the very mention of church or religion. But now, filled with light, these words prepare us to receive the teachings that the Father has sent us through our brother, the Messiah. Let us now pay close attention to this profound revelation. When he says, I am the Messiah, he is telling us that he is the Messiah. This means he is the one sent, the one long awaited by the people of Judea more than 20 centuries ago. At that time, he did not use the title Messiah but instead called himself the Son of God, knowing that the Hebrew law would condemn him as a blasphemer. In the video Universal Religion 08, the Messiah, he already told us, we are equal, because we all come from the same divine source. We now understand that his sacrifice established a law of love that blesses our consciousness because we, too, are children of God, a truth he demonstrated through his example, even if Hebrew law condemned him for contradicting the concept of the unity of God held by religious minds of that time. Now we can grasp the new revelation that God sends us through the Messiah, when he completes the words of his Father, I am the Messiah and the founder of the universal church. When we ask ourselves, when did this founding take place, it is natural to sense the answer with the help of our angels, our protectors, our spiritual guides, and our beings of light, each one assigned to us by our Father. By loving the Father in a spirit of fraternal unity, we come to understand and feel that many centuries ago, far more ancient than the coming of Moses, the Creator, the Father of absolute love, spoke to the cosmic fraternal unity of beings who had reached the highest levels of spiritual evolution. To the Messiah beings, he revealed that a planet, within a solar system, was caught in a cycle of conquest and vengeance, that its violence and disregard for life had cast it into spiritual darkness. Without help from the fraternal cosmic unity, this humanity would be lost. Because of the law of cause and effect, it would be placed on a will of endless revenge, conquest, hatred, and conflict among nations, sinking ever deeper into an abyss of darkness. It was this Messiah whom we came to know in the human body as Jesus, who freely chose, in unity with his fellow Messiahs, to come and help these suffering human beings. For this willingness before the Father, he was appointed the founder of the universal religion, to establish it on earth as a path of loving God above all things. Only by loving can we rise above hatred, vengeance, pride, and conflict between nations. That is the truth of his coming, at the right time. This is why the Father ordained his return. The Messiah is responsible for establishing the universal religion on earth in unity with his brother Messiahs. This is not a plan he invented, but a command from the Father that must be fulfilled until every being on this earth, whether they know him or not, whether they accept him or not, whether they identify with his teachings or not, will eventually awaken to the feeling of unitary love above all else in life. It is the desire of the Messiah that the billions of souls living on earth may glorify God through their lives. The absolute love of God respects the law of individual freedom and cannot force any being to act against the divine wisdom already placed within his children. We now understand the divine struggle undertaken by the pure light of the Messiah in using the word I, a word often used by men to express pride or vanity. Yet we now know he uses it only to bestow divine greatness upon human words and to highlight their eternal value. He tells us again, through his decision to return and help this planet, that there are no chosen ones. We must freely choose whether to follow the teachings that God now sends through his living presence among us. The Messiah, the one who once walked among humans in the body of the man called Jesus, now returns to repeat the same words, placing the divine seal upon human speech and declaring once and for all, he is the Messiah, so we may stop waiting for another.